Good afternoon, I'm Gabe Salazar. This is the first time this election cycle that a presidential candidate made a stop in New Mexico. And the drug addiction problem and the humanitarian crisis kind of go hand in hand. So do you have an overarching plan to allocate resources to the border, because a lot of these drugs come from across the border?
Yeah, I'm going to close the border. I'm going to seal the border.
Many of these families discovered the fate of their homes by looking at pictures and videos circulating around social media, including the wards. This was a home that they were supposed to spend the rest of their lives in as newlyweds, now in shambles. If you're spending the morning counting your macros, just stop. Now's the time to throw your diet out the window, because we're showing you something that's greasy and loaded with carbs. So Hollywood is in its streaming age right now. Almost every studio has its own streaming service, or the studio is the streaming service, such as Netflix. SAG-AFTRA represents 160,000 of its members. It's the largest entertainment union in the country, and most of its members are actors, including... One movie had a central theme about the ethical and moral dilemma of the atomic bomb.
Right.
The other message was, I'm just Ken.
Yeah, and who run the world? Girls do. All right. That sums up both movies for you, right? All right. Thanks for joining us here. We'll be back at 7:26 with live updates.
Well, new tonight, Merced police say they have arrested a man wanted for more than 6 months in connection to the death of an 8-year-old girl. I just want to give you the lay of the land right now, because it's pretty incredible where everything is in relation to each other. Right here is a pretty crowded residential area in San Luis. Then right behind me here is a dirt lot where the entrance of that cross-border tunnel is located, and just about 200 feet in this direction is the southern border. That's why agents tell me it's not a matter of if there are more tunnels, but how many and where. And this morning, 58% of you say that it should be up to the couple, 29% of you say no, and we have all agreed that I am not invited to Kira's wedding.
You're lumped in with kids, okay?
Yeah, I would be the one throwing the cake on the ground.
No, you would not. I'd invite you to my wedding.
Okay,
but
fair.
That happened about 12 years ago, so you missed the boat on that one.
12 years ago, wow.
Yeah.
So coming up here, I saw a sign that read, "Don't be afraid to fail, be afraid not to try." So that's exactly what we're going to do. This is the exact same thing that some of the campers here are doing as well. So this is the 37th annual Champ Camp. Me and Ryan are going to be both going down the zip line in a few seconds. So are we good to go?
You are good to go.
Like anytime?
Anytime. You're good.
But first, we've got to get the elephant in the room out of the way, Gabe. You're borrowing one of my aprons.
Yeah, I know I look like a founding member of the Danielle Tedesco fan club. So this is an apron that one of our viewers so graciously got you with your name on it, some roses, butterflies. I wanted to protect my outfit today because we're here with Alan Jordan, owner of Good Dog Catering and Concessions, for this Food Truck Friday. A lawsuit was filed claiming that dating apps are encouraging people to compulsively use them. Well, the Prohibition era may have ended a century ago, but modern speakeasies are gaining popularity here in the metro.
And Gabe's given us the scoop on this.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Downtown Albuquerque, there's a speakeasy that doubles as a nonprofit, bringing together the brightest minds in business.
Yeah, but if you blink, you might miss it. So I give you a hint to where you can find it. In the heart of Albuquerque, hidden from sight, a secret speakeasy where the brightest minds are in the spotlight.
The idea is to make New Mexico the #1 in social enterprise and corporate responsibility.
The building, ironically built in the 20s, has stood the test of time, and Kohler was committed to revive the historical home despite the grime.
Luckily, we were able to step in, refurbish the entire thing from floor to ceiling, and brought it back to life. And it was, it's one of the most beautiful spaces, I believe, in New Mexico right now.
Behind the counter, craft cocktails and spirits spur conversations. And a passion for community is what inspired a partnership with the United Nations.
The United Nations set the 17 Goals of Sustainable Development back in 2015. So that was a prime example of how if you hold those values in place, then you really create a fair equity for all people.
Carlos Perea, CEO of locally based ag tech company Terra Vera, was one of the first business leaders to join the club. He says for his employees, UN17 has become their social hub.
Get a chance to interact with people who are like-minded
to collaborate, to share ideas, to challenge each other, and to do it in a fun environment, which is really nice.
If you'd like to join, remember it's membership only. But don't worry, with 200 members and counting, you won't be lonely. Yep, looks like a great morning for a balloon launch. We're taking the scenic route today. Come and join me for the ride. With conditions almost perfect, I wasn't going to let this opportunity fly away, so up we went. I joined 10 other early risers, and for every single one of us, it was our first balloon ride in Albuquerque. How often do you get people who are just trying to conquer their fear of heights? You know, asking for a friend.
Very often, but the thing is if you look over the side, you can't really tell how high you are.
I don't know about that. We rose to an altitude of 7,700 feet, soared over homes, and mock drivers sitting in traffic over I-25. And we made it just in time to catch a view of the sunrise that you just can't beat. What's your favorite part about piloting?
I think mostly meeting the people, and then there's no two flights that are the same. Even I've been doing it for 43 years now. I have over 4,000 hours, and every flight is different.
Some riders traveled across the country to the Duke City for this year's Fiesta. So where are you visiting from?
Pennsylvania. Feels great. I mean, not too much of a problem. A little nervousness at first.
It's all an ode to the man who started Fiesta in the first place. Sid Cutter is a name we hear a lot, especially around this time of year, known as the father of hot air ballooning in Albuquerque. And you have a direct connection to him, right?
Yes, I do. I started in 78, started flying for Sid about 2 years later, and from there on it's just kind of been a wonderful thing that I've been lucky to be involved in.
Just one piece of advice though. What tips do you have for first-time flyers?
Well, enjoy the ride.
Hoping you have a great balloon fiesta. Yeah! Gabe Salazar, KOB4.